Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, April 2nd. Welcome. I hope you had a good 3 weeks since my last video. Gotten lots of stitching done. I had every intention of coming back and recording a video last weekend, but I do make Dax take Sundays off at the office. And I decided last weekend was going to be our optimal weekend to go drive the Willow City Loop, which if you're in Central Texas in the early spring when the wildflowers are blooming, it's a great, go do that. I hadn't heard of it. A client told us, and so the bluebonnets seemed like they bloomed a little bit early this year, and Indian paintbrushes usually kind of show up at the end of the bluebonnet season. So they were starting to pop up, so I decided last weekend was going to be our optimal time to go. I can tell you this year, the bluebonnets have been absolutely phenomenal in our area. But we went and we drove that. It wound up being farther away than I expected. And it took longer. But then after we drove through and looked at the wildflowers and took pictures of them and all of that fun stuff, since we were close to Fredericksburg, I think it turned out we were 15 miles away, Dax decided that we should go and get a caramel frappuccino from the Java Ranch because they're the best. Another thing if you're in the area. So we did that, and then he decided we should go have lunch because you get the frappuccino first so you don't overeat, and then you're not hungry, you have no room, because we think ahead like that. So we went and did that, had lunch, and then he said, well, let's go down. There's a place there I like called the Elk Store, and in the front part of it is a wine bar, and in the back part is hard liquor. They distill their own whiskey and gin and maybe rum, but I'm not sure. But they have a drink there that I absolutely love called a dirty horchata. And it is so good. So we went and got a couple of those before we headed home. So by then, when we got home, it was late. So no video. It's a long way to say I didn't record a video last week. But I have a ton of stuff here. So I guess we should get started. I worked on out of Portrait of a Cowboy. This one is I'm doing for Dax. It's on my list of 20 that I would, they're the year of whips, right? I choose 20 things, and I don't compete in any, it's not a competition. I'm not part of any of the groups. Gosh, let me say this the right way. I'm in the groups, but I'm so terrible about posting things that I don't do any of that. So there you go. So this time I worked up in here, I believe, getting all of this filled in. I don't know if it'll make it to a finish by the end of the year, but I guess we'll see. It's only April. I worked on this Halloween welcome because I love my welcomes. There we are. You see how close that is? Oof. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm nervous, but we'll make it work. Before I only had like these two. This is a fence. I only had these. I had this one and these two pickets and like one line on the bottom of the jack-o'-lantern. So I put him in, obviously, a couple of more pickets of the fence, and then this is like the edge of the house. This spooky house. I'm over here. I felt like that was pretty good progress for when I stitched on it. I think I only stitched on it one day. I'm going to move that little tub over closer. I worked on my Summer in Chalk. This is this Hands-On Designs and Priscilla Blaine. I never can remember. It's out of the Just Cross Stitch June 2016 magazine. Anyway, here we are. I think I'm officially at the bottom here, at the end of the R. I think that gets me officially there. So anyway, I finished the R and got started. I worked some more on the flower, and now I've started on the leaves under the flower. So right over in here is where I'm trying to get these leaves in to get it over that way. And right there where that thread's hanging, that's a page break. That's why it's just hanging there. With the threads hanging, it looks like a hot mess, but there we are. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. Dax is fasting. He can eat at 2 or 2:30, so I figured I would come in here. We got up this morning and went to Coffee and Cars. It's car show, bring your cars. We've taken the Mistress a couple of times, but today it's been all cloudy and looking like it might rain. Right now it looks pretty nice, but we'll see. So we did not take her. We just went and looked at cars, and then we came home, and he said he was going to go work out, and I was dragging some of the stuff that has fallen out of the trees because it is still falling out of the trees from the ice storm 2 months ago, whenever it was. So we were dragging, I was dragging stuff over there, but he came and cut up some of the big stuff, and then he was cutting stuff out of the trees kind of close to the house that now that everything's greened up, we can see what's in the, we have live oaks. They stay green all year, but they, in the spring, they push the old leaves out. The new leaves come in and push the old leaves out. But now we can tell the brown dead branches from the new leaves that are really bright green when they come out. So he was getting some of that out of the trees, and then he was exhausted, so that was his workout for today. Told him, you shouldn't be working that hard when you're fasting, but he never listens. Anyway, so it's like around 12:30, I guess, and so I figured I'd run in here and do this before I need to cook lunch and all of the other stuff. Out of this book by Holly Designs, it's a very good collection. I'm doing this little lamb, and I'm not doing the heart or anything. I'm just going to do him. And I decided that it's probably something that I decided to do it so I could put it out for Easter. I don't seem to have that many Easter things. So there you go. There's my wild start. That was one of my new starts. If you're new, I'm doing a new start every week. So that's where the other ones come from. Okay, Christmas 1991 Celebrations to Cross Stitch. I'm doing the White Santa. I'm doing the whole thing. Everything keeps trying to fall. I'm sorry. And I'm doing mine on the yellow from the lamp. Always makes this look bright. It's a dark burgundy color. But this time I worked on that wreath around his head. There are so many color changes in that wreath. But he's looking good. He's looking good. I have a little bit more up there, and there's some decoration things that hang, some bells and stuff that hang down that I need to input like it's a computer. I need to get those put in. And there's minimal back stitch on this piece, really, considering. So I need to do that, and then I'll be done with the top where the page break is right here. I wouldn't say it's the top half. The bottom is, you know, I'm up here, so I got a lot. It's not really the top half. Anyway, it's been fun at work, as always. Week before last, Kirsten did the Windows update on her computer, and it destroyed the operating system. First, because we have two screens. First, it would only recognize the one screen, and then it wouldn't recognize anything. And so Dax went and took it to the guy to fix it, and the guy does a phenomenal job, really. He installed a new operating system and everything for like $125. Diagnosed and installed the new system, got everything back working. But it's busy season. We can't afford to be days without a computer. So we bought another one. He bought another one while he was there. So now we have an extra computer on hand because, you know, be prepared and all of that. It makes him so pleasant to get along with when things like that happen during busy season. I worked on Graveyard Halloween. Maybe that's what made me think of it, the graveyard. There are days that I feel that he's lucky we don't kill him. But we love him, so. Anyway, here we are. This time I worked on coming up on the tombstone. Now, I'm sorry. I'm just moving it all over the place. I did something wrong over there because there's supposed to be more. The crack right here is supposed to be much deeper. See right there? And I messed up the count, and I couldn't get the skull, I couldn't get the crossbones to work with the way that I had messed it up. I don't know where I messed it up or when. So I just filled it in. It only has a chip in it now, not a crack. So this is another one that I don't know what I was thinking. I'm cutting it close. So I guess they're both going to have to be finished very similarly so that my mistakes don't make it worse. Or keep me from finishing it all, I guess. From Mystic Stitch, this is Solitude. This is on my list of 20. I know I quit saying that. The White Santa's on the list. This is on the list. This won't get finished. That's for certain, but so you saw me knock my needle minder off. The needles kept the magnet. There are 2 needles on this. I have some other projects that have 2 needles. That means that I have lost a needle, gotten another one, and then found the one I lost if there's 2 on a project. So, filled in some more. I'm still doing this in the 10 by 10 squares, and it really is helping me a lot. I know it takes me longer to keep switching threads and ignoring going across and filling them all in, but I'm not getting lost, and that makes me willing to work on it, because trying to do this part up here where some stuff didn't get marked off, some stuff did on my chart, trying to figure out where I messed up, I got to where I didn't even want to work on it. But doing it this way, it makes me happy. It makes me willing to get it out and work on it. So I figure that's a win. I also worked on October from Snowflower Diaries from her Joyful World Stitch Along. I've got all of these started. Move my needle minder. Here is my progress on October. I got much more than this done, and then I found I am missing 3 stitches right here. This should be over 1 more column. I had a bunch of the stuff down here done. I pulled it all out. I've still got to pull that out and get it redone. That makes it harder to finish stuff. Just in case you were curious, makes it much harder. I was so frustrated when I realized that. It's like, ugh. Because I was all busy being so proud of myself at the progress I had made. And then I went and did that. And then I realized that no, you didn't. You made wrong progress. Out of the April 2018 Just Cross Stitch, I am working on this bunny. He's called Spring Hair, I think is the name of the pattern. Here is where we are. This is a piece of fabric. I'm doing it on 18 count fabric. It used to be white. I dyed it with red wine. It's got some splotches on it, but it's all fine and good. I got the 2 front legs finished, and it's not headless anymore. We got most of the face in. I was actually missing a couple of colors. I was like, you cannot be serious. How is that possible? There are a lot of colors in this. So, like around his eye, and there's some other spots that need to be filled in because I didn't have that color. But I'm happy with it. Got one ear out. It's got flowers and stuff. There's still a lot more to do on it. I think I was like down here is the color that I was missing on his ear, and it's ridiculous. But I like it. I like the way it's going. I worked on I think this one is actually called Friendship Quilts by Paula Vaughn. Half the time I just call it the porch. But you can't do that because that would classify about half of Paula Vaughn's stuff. Matters not to me. I love me some Paula Vaughn. I looked at a picture from the beginning of the year because I took pictures of everything. This one is also on my 20. And I was very pleased with how much progress I've made. I've done this since the beginning of the year. All of this down here, brought the chair down. I only had like right across the top here of that quilt done at the beginning of the year. So this is all filled in. It's just filled in white. So it makes it kind of hard to tell that it is indeed filled in. I think my goal on this one, if I could get this half done this year, I would be ecstatic. It has a crap ton of back stitching, so we all know that takes so much longer. What did I do with the picture for this one? I did work on my Animal Advent from, her name just left my head, Brooks Books. All I could think of was, well, crap, now I can't even think of them anymore. I can't even think of the one that was occupying my mind. Brooks Books. The donkey is the one that I am on now. I have high hopes of getting this finished next month. I am trying very hard to get one of these done a month. And I started the year with 5 left. So overall, here we are. I got the alligator done in March. And I went ahead and in March, after I finished the alligator, I went ahead and did the outline, and I put in the star still in March. I've only worked on this is all I put in today is that 2, but I'm hoping that I'll have plenty of time to work on that. It comes up in my rotation. I don't know if you call what I do a rotation. It comes up and I stitch on it on those days, but I only give my new starts on Sundays about 30 minutes, and then I work on this. So how much work I get depends on what we do. I don't think we're planning to do anything else today. We've already filled the bird feeders. They're all happy. I have to do some farming, but my plants are all doing really well, y'all. We've got tomatoes, watermelon, bell pepper. Bell pepper came up. Carrots, spaghetti squash, garlic. Not sure how the ginger's doing. And I just, a couple of days ago, started an experiment that I saw somebody say you could do. I got to start watching like YouTube videos going, hey, here's a life hack, or hey, did you ever try this? Because they said if you buy raw cashews at the store, that you can plant them and they will grow. So I'm trying it. We're going to see. They grow on trees. I've got 2 avocado trees that are doing really well, 2 pineapple plants. One of them should be getting close. I'm really hoping that this year we're going to go ahead and make a pineapple. I've read that if you cut the tops off of one so that you buy at the store and start one, which is both of these came from that, that it takes about 3 or 4 years for them to get mature. And I think we're at about 3 years on this one. So I'm hoping to get a pineapple this year out of it, but I don't know. I think that's all I've got growing right now. I don't know. I'm a little obsessed. I got to tell you that. So anyway, there you go. There's your farm report, your farm update. This morning's new start is this. I'm showing you the pattern because it was a bunch of, they were monthly free patterns. I found these and printed them out years ago. And I went back when I showed one of them once before, a long time ago, I think when I started it, and looked because some people had wanted to know where I got them. I can't find them online anymore. But anyway, this is my new start. This one's for February. And there you go. Look, there's my other start from before. I think I worked on that one in the last video. Did I show that one in the last video? I think so. Last time I put in the pot and I think it's supposed to be sand around it, but I had to rip that out. I made a mistake there. But here we go. There's February. I just put in the birdhouse. That's as far as I got on it. Sorry, I forgot to take these out of the bags. I know lots of people show their project bags. Here you go. I get my project bags at Sam's. They sell them by a 4-pack of 72 bags or something like that. So I get enough for a long time. I buy so many project bags at a time. I have leftovers that I can use in my kitchen. I worked on Perfect Pumpkin. That is a heart and hand. I think this one is on my 20 list. I should pay attention more. But I'm thrilled. I got another pumpkin in. Came across with the border at the top and got of. That is, the pumpkin's variegated. It's kind of hard to tell. It's easy to tell in person. I get the floss out. It is some kind of, maybe it shows up a little bit better there. I like to buy things in big lots where I can dig through stuff and see what it is, and if there's anything fun. I do it with floss, I do it with fabric, I do it with the things I buy to sell on eBay. I like the big, it's like messy lots, like I'm in a Discovery or something. It's as close as I get to being an adventurer. So anyway, this is from something like that. It was already on the bobbin and it said number 38. I have no idea what brand it was from or anything like that, but it was just a kind of a bright orange, and I coffee dyed it. And that's what I used for this pumpkin, is that orange floss that I coffee dyed. So I don't know. I've got 2 more pumpkins, obviously the rest of the border, and 2 more words. And I don't know what I'm doing down here on the bottom. I really need to bring that bottom border across. I need to get it cut up. I guess I'm just ignoring it. But anyway, it's on my list of 20, I believe. So I'm hopeful that it could get finished by the end of the year. Let's see. I worked on Mason jar lineup, which is by Dimensions. This is on my list. I have no hopes of finishing it this year. Trying to be realistic, but I have made progress, and there was, a period of time where I couldn't have even said that. So here we are. I have started working on some of the back stitching over here. I'm trying to work on the back stitching as I go along because there's a lot of it. So I did like 1 length of floss back stitching. I think that's where these flowers came in, and then worked on this other bottle. I'm actually getting pretty close to having that bottle complete, and then I'll move up here and work on it's got a big Berbera daisy, maybe black-eyed Susan, I'm not sure. So I don't know. Look at me just saying words like I know plants. I do not know plants. So there you go. And then one of my new starts was the Gratitude Sheep Virtue. I'm trying to remember that for these things that I've bought, that just like this, where I've bought so many of these, just because I am working on one doesn't mean that I can't incorporate the other ones into my new starts. So I'm trying to be better. So here's Gratitude is the one that I've started next. And I did border. I think all of that gets filled in with the different color. Yeah. So anyway, and the last thing I worked on was this Dimensions kit. That one's Abigail's stocking. And it's done. Hooray! I got it finished in March. I was so excited. Her name, I don't know what I was thinking. I tried to center the G. It's the middle letter. But then it's like, look how, the A is super wide. And then, this drives me nuts. The A is the same distance apart as every one of these other letters. But doesn't it look like it's way far apart? Anyway, because that made it off-centered, because the letters are different sizes, and I don't know why I didn't think of that. The L didn't have this little loop on it. I tried to fancy it up a little more. I took how they did the G down there and added it to the end of the L to try to center it a little bit better. It's not perfect, but she was home last weekend and I showed her and she liked it, so that's good enough for me. I'll run it up for you, up closer. That border around, y'all. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm so happy. This was on my list of 20. I really thought maybe, like last year in December, I thought maybe I'd get it done a little bit faster than I did. Because isn't that always the way? We pretend like there's, oh, that's not very big. Oh, I hardly have any to go. And then, for hours I keep saying, I hardly have any to go. So that was all my stitching. Like I said, I am so happy that I got that finished. I ended March. I have not done my Stitch from Stash balance. I have to look up and see stuff that I bought, the prices for some of it, so that I can go ahead and finish that. I'm way in the hole. I can tell you that. And you know what? I haven't quit buying. So I'm going to have to control myself at some point here. I have enough stuff. I don't need to be buying anymore. Anyway, I finished so far this year. I have 5 finishes, and I'm thrilled about that. I'm not going to complain because some of it has been some big stuff like Abigail's stocking that thrills me to no end. With Abigail's stocking done, I probably started that early 2000. The pattern came out in, I think it says 1998. I don't remember. 1999. And I'm almost certain that I bought that like after clearance when everything was like 70 or more % off, which means I probably started it in 2000. So getting that finished, I jump to my oldest whip being from 2016. So that's a pretty big jump. And I keep starting things that are, I should start more smalls. I keep starting things that aren't that small, but that's okay. And I finished March with 133 whips, which you just saw. I started another one today, so that puts me at 134, which I'm perfectly fine with because I feel better when I've at least started the stuff I buy. If I buy it and I've spent the money on it and it just sits around here forever with nothing being done, that makes me feel bad. So I at least started it. So what should we do next? How about what else I've done? I FFO'd something. This was from a little cross stitch that Sherry Smith had sent me. She sent me a whole bunch of patterns and some kits and all kinds of stuff. Actually, she sent me a couple of box of goodies, and this is from one of the patterns that was in it, and it's one that had been done forever. I did a really easy finish on it. I put my 2 pieces of fabric together. Again, this is not that orange. The yellow from the lamp is making it look orange. It's a deep burgundy color. It matches this stuff. I put those 2 together. I stitched around it on the sewing machine, and then left a little opening. I put some polyfill in it. I didn't even stuff it. It's not tight. It's only lightly stuffed. I didn't want it real tight. Finished sewing it up. Stitched some jute twine around it. I covered that button. It's a piece of this fabric. And I just covered the button and glued it on. With that, glued the loop on and all that kind of stuff. I wanted the button to have the design of the fabric in it, and I did that, but it looked like a nipple. So I decided, yeah, maybe not. Maybe we won't go with that look. So let me get this other stuff I also did. I am going to finish. I might do it today. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe if I do it today, it'll be done before Easter. The little peeps things that I stitched, I'm going to finish them into little pillows and put a hanger on them for the Easter tree. But I couldn't find, well, I guess that's not true. Those are little tiny pieces. And I wanted Peeps related fabric to go with them. And I didn't need a yard of fabric. I didn't need a yard of $18 fabric. I didn't even need a $10 fat quarter of fabric. So made my own. And basically, I took a piece of muslin, I ironed it onto some freezer paper, cut to regular 8.5 by 11 standard paper size. I went into Word. Is that what I have on my computer? I don't know. Anyway, I used a picture from my phone, and then I also used a clip art that was in Windows in Word. And so this is my fabric that I'm going to use to finish them. This picture was a clip art in Word. So if you want to do stuff like that, you have options. There is stuff that you can spray on these to keep them from fading. I've done this before. I did the girls one year for Christmas some pocket tees with, I think, Abigail and Addison's pockets had their favorite hockey player on it, and Kirsten's had Hunter Hayes when she was madly in love with him. But it turns out good. It's a piece of muslin and the printer, and it is permanent in there. After you run it through, let it cool off, make sure the ink's all dry or whatever. I think this printer is an inkjet. We have a laser jet, but it's only black. And it gets really hot. That's one thing to be cautious of. This one doesn't get so hot. So you just make sure all your ink is dry and everything, because it's not like paper, and peel the other stuff off. So hopefully I'll get those done. But if you ever need just a small piece of fabric and you have an idea in mind, give that a try. Most of us have these days, especially if you've got a color printer at home. Why not? And quite frankly, it took me a while to remember that I had already done that before. And then I played with dyeing some fabric because I just can't stand to not. It's been running in my head for a while that I wanted some green fabric, and I should try dyeing, because I've got some green dye, try dyeing some fabric green. I have nothing in mind that I want to use green fabric with. I don't know why. This has been bugging me. So I finally decided just go do it. So here's one piece. This is just white Ada that I dyed with the green. And like right now, I know it looks more teal, but it's green. This one was a piece of the oatmeal. It's all very stiff still. I generally dye it, rinse it until it comes clear, and then hang it up to dry, which makes it very stiff. Anyway, this was oatmeal. So I wonder what this will do. Let's see if it makes it really bad dark in here. Ooh, a little bit dark. Okay, does that change the color any? Not really. But here's the difference between the two. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on here, but you certainly can in person. That's weird. It really doesn't. This one is much lighter than the oatmeal, which is to be expected. I dyed 2 pieces of the oatmeal, and so then I decided with the other one, because it had quite a few white spots on it, well, oatmeal spots, where the dye wasn't as dark. So I decided, well, let's add something else to it. So this is the oatmeal with a green dye. I think it just was dark green and then a royal blue. So I liked the way that came out too. And yes, I have no idea what I'm going to do with any of them. I just felt like playing around with it. So there we are. I have the time for this stuff. I was looking to see what else I've got here. I have not worked on my crochet afghan at all. I was going to bring another. I actually have finished a crochet afghan. I meant to bring it in here so that I could show you, but I forgot. Oh, I have to do this. I'm going to forget. I did a video where I talked about some stuff that I had gotten from a company who had reached out. And Dawn at Frosty Egg Stitch, Dawn is responsible for keeping me in line. That is her job. Shelly is responsible for making sure that I understand cross-stitch stuff. Together, they make a very good team for me. But Dawn had let me know that that company does have quite a few projects that are probably pirated. In the meantime, before I talked to Dawn and everything, another company had reached out, and I said yes and let them send me some stuff. And after I talked to Dawn, I went and looked at the other company. I find all of this overwhelming. I was going to say very confusing. It's not confusing. It's overwhelming. And you can go down a rabbit hole in a heartbeat. So I went back and I looked at the stuff that I requested from the other company. I don't think any of it is stolen from somebody else. But they do have like a whole section of Joy Sunday. Is that the right? And that started something rolling around in the back of my head. So I went and I looked more into that. And there are artists who have said that Joy Sunday is stealing their work and making kits, which I don't doubt the artists at all. Why would they say that if they weren't? But then I was watching Megan May, I think that's right. And she was talking about some research she had done and had found a pattern where someone had reported Joy Sunday to the artist, and the artist said, no, they have our permission to do it. So I don't know, maybe some of their stuff is legit, maybe some of it isn't, and how in the world do you ever know the difference? Anyway, all of that to say, this other company has sent me stuff. They do have a lot of Joy Sunday on their thing. So if you go to them, be cautious, be aware. I won't accept anything from other people anymore because it's just not worth all of this and drama and whatever. So I will put their information, because that is the agreement that I made. I will stand up to what I said I would do, but I'm giving you fair warning. Like I said, I don't think that what I got are stolen patterns. They're not, neither one of them are Joy Sunday. But like I said, I don't want to do it without putting the caution out there, and I want you to be aware, but I also feel like I have to live up to my obligation, what I gave my word. So, this one I got. These are stamped kits, but I loved that. And then this one is one I got for Abigail. It says, that's what I do. I read books, I drink tea, and I know things. So I got those two, and then I got this thread holder. Another thread organizer, which is funny because I almost never, unless I'm doing a kit, I don't do this with my thread. I bobbinate, but for one thing, it's freaking huge. But seriously, how funny is that? So, anyway, I've met my obligation. I will put information down in the description box. There are things that they want me to say, and I agreed to it, and I will do it. Proceed with caution. That's what I would never tell anybody that I wouldn't be honest about something. So anyway, enough of that. I have not quit shopping. I'm killing myself here. And it occurred to me also last time that I had said that I hadn't gotten my stuff from McKenna from 1884 Stitchery yet. I didn't mean for that to sound like it was taking forever or anything. I did my video on Sunday. I think I had ordered it on Friday night. I mean, but then afterwards I thought, oh, did I make that sound horrible? And quite frankly, I don't know what I have shown you. I have a stack. Over here. I don't know what I've shown you and what I haven't. So if I already showed you these, I'm sorry. One of them, I did not print out the picture. So, but it's a squirrel. Just looking to see. Stitch by TA, I think is the Etsy shop. You can't miss it. It's a squirrel. She stitched it on black. The model's on black, I guess. But I liked that. This one I got from Etsy Static. That's what it looks like anyway. No, that must just be their... It's called Farm Hamlet on here, but that's not what it's called on Etsy. That was one of somebody's complaint. Anyway, I thought it was very pretty. And dear God, if this is stolen art, please don't tell me. Please don't. I can't deal with not being able to buy on Etsy. But I have to tell you, in that vein, there is an Etsy shop that has sold tons, and I mean like 20,000 patterns. And I'm pretty sure that many, many of them are patterns from, why does everything keep leaving my head today? From Dimensions. That they are Dimensions patterns that you can get for $2.50 a download. And I contacted Dimensions. I gave them the website, what store. I mean, I copied their web address. They're still there. Dimensions never said anything. So does that mean they don't care? Does that mean that those are designs that they're not producing anymore and they've given somebody else the right? I don't know. See, that's what I said. It's all very, Anyway, enough of that. This one I bought. I was enabled. It is probably not something that I would have just seen the picture on Etsy and bought. I saw Lady Robins stitching it. She's finished hers, but I liked it. It's from Victoria House Designs, and it's called Harvest Time. And there you go. I really liked Robin's when she had hers done. So they were having a sale. You know how that goes. It's a sale. You have to buy it. You have to. I got this one from the Sunflower Seed. This was one of my eBay purchases. It's a Halloween. This is one where it's the printed photo glued on. It came with fabric. I don't know. This is probably a 9 or 11 count. I mean, it's... Do you see that? I don't know that I'll stitch it on there. Probably not. I mean, if we're being honest, probably not. But, again, it was a good price. I got this one. I believe this was also off of eBay. Father Christmas, Mosey and Me. I love Santas. I love old world Santas even more. So, yeah, why not? Why not? Might as well. This is the stuff that I got from 1884 Stitchery. I thought that it was very kind of McKenna to personalize my invoice. She made comments on the things that I ordered. So I got Welcome Aplenty, number 7. Because, you know, welcomes. But come on, look at that. You know I had to. I have to see. I know I didn't get rid of the invoice. For that one, she wrote, AKA, welcome to my house, but you're not allowed to stay or come in. And it's really not true. You can come to my house. I'll even let you come in. I might even let you stay for a while. Nobody comes to our house because people who live in town don't like to drive out to the country, even though we're 5 miles north of town. We don't live way out in the boonies, but people just don't like to do it. And that's fine, whatever. I got this fabric. This is one of the things that, actually, I guess it was the main thing. It was the first thing when I went to her page. It was there. And it's showing up much more yellow. It's a more golden brown kind of color that I'm going to use for Jacob's stocking. So I think it'll look gorgeous. I have some ideas about that, but first I have to see if it will work before I do it to this piece of fabric, because I don't want to ruin it. I got Fall a Quarterly 4-patch. This is Knotted Tree Needle Art, but those are pretty cute. I like them. And then I got a Jardin Privé Cat Lovers. I'm not going to tell you what McKenna put for that one. But if you know McKenna, you can guess. I'm probably just going to leave the S off, because I don't think there's anyone in my house besides me that's a cat lover. Now, if I changed the cat to what McKenna wrote, I could still leave it just single. If we combined them, there's probably more than one. This is a Jan Lynn kit from 1994. I got this off of eBay. I had liked it, or I was watching it, and the seller made me an offer. I haven't opened it yet. It is still sealed. But look at all those Santas. The only thing that I'm really kind of weirded out about is, look how long his arm is. It's freakishly long, y'all. But I'm not gonna fix that. I'm not even messing with that to fix it. And then I ordered, again, I was watching it, the seller made me an offer. I ordered this fabric for the inside of Abigail's stocking because it has all the colors. It's snowflakes, it's got red, blue, green. So I got that. Now I need the fabric for the back. I already have the fabric for the back. I need to find the fabric for the back, which is, you know, my word for the year is organize. If I keep trying, working at that, I'm bound to find the fabric because it is around here somewhere. It's stacked under stuff because I moved almost everything out of here and it's all in a big stack in the garage. A big, ugly, nasty, messy stack, but it can't come back in except for a little at a time and organized, which isn't going to happen very soon because I've decided that all these little drawers in here. They're all like little trays, really. And I've decided that really limits what I can use them for. There are 35 drawers across this thing. But they're all just like that. And so I've decided that I'm going to take the top 3, cut the sides, and build. Dax doesn't know that he's getting involved in this yet. And build a deep drawer for 3. They're 5 down. So the top 3 will be 1 drawer. And the bottom 2 are bigger, and they'll be another drawer. And I'm going to make these into deep, big, usable drawers where I can stack. I can put all of my sewing fabric in because I'm in the process of trying to wrap it around the comic boards so that it can display neatly. And if I have the big drawers like that, I can stack it all up in there and make it look good. And that's all stuff that won't just be crammed somewhere else, taking up space in tubs. I've got a ton of big plastic tubs out here stacked up with things in them because 35 drawers like that don't really help all that much. So I have big plans. We'll see. Anyway, that's part of the reason that it's going to take a while for stuff to come back in here, and everything is getting gone through as it comes back in. And like I said, I want all of the fabric wrapped. I want it in order by colors and all of that kind of stuff. I would get so much more done if I didn't have to look so long to find what it is I want to work on. Anyway, I do have the fabric for Abigail's. I need something for the inside of Wyatt's to line it with. So there's that. Then this week I did a thing. I didn't do it until April 1st. So I did it yesterday. I went and looked on Heaven and Earth Designs. I've looked before, but not like really looked. How many, what did I just say? I have 134 whips. Do I need another full coverage? You've seen how far I am with Solitude. I mean, it's not like I'm making huge progress. But I went and looked earlier in the week, and I marked some things I put on my wish list. But this one, I can't quit thinking about. So I went back. I decided because my budget in my Stitch From stash has got to be so awful. I told you I haven't written down. I think there's 5 purchases I haven't written down in there. Even with the finish of Abigail's stocking, it's not going to touch it. So I decided, well, I need to wait till April. So I went back yesterday to buy it. I'm like, it's April. Go get it. And actually, it was on sale from $19 to $9.50. So I can't even complain. But the artwork is by Mickey Sinkaric. I don't know. It's called Cool, Cool Water. I mean, are you kidding me? It's got the Field of Blue bonnets. It's got the Indian paintbrushes. It's got the barn with the Texas flag painted on it. I mean, yes, I had to have it. And Kirsten kept saying, well, even if you crop out the horse, you know, it would still be beautiful. It would be, but I love it just like it is. So, I mean, let's be real. If I put it in order where it belongs in my basket for new starts, I'm sorry, my little paper bag is blowing out the sides of my gift bag. I brought a tub out here that had a bunch of dried up paints, and I am going to, you know how it is, you buy the acrylic paints, you use them a couple of times, and then you set them aside. Well, I was throwing them as the kids did artwork and stuff. It was just like, go dig in that tub. That's the tub of their stuff. So mostly it's full of dried acrylic paints. And so I'm going to move my stuff to start over into it because there's more room. But anyway, I like to put stuff in order, man, but I don't know. I don't know if I can wait that long to start this. I just am in love with it. Like I said, I couldn't quit thinking about it. There are other things that I put on my wish list, but I could not quit thinking about this. And quite frankly, they're all on sale. That doesn't help me. That's everything I've bought. And it gets us up to right yesterday. Actually, I'm lying. That's not everything I've bought. That's all the cross-stitch stuff I've bought. I got on Temu. I know, me and everybody else. I'm sorry, I keep scratching my nose. I know I'm making it all red. When Dax and I went to Coffee and Cars, being outside for hours, I had a horrible sinus headache by the time we were leaving, and everything is sore and itchy and all of that. So I apologize. Anyway, I got on Temu like everybody else, and like, I bought these cute little scissors. I have no idea how they cut. They were cute. I haven't used them yet. They had some of these stork scissors with flowers on them. They were cute, so I got those. I got a few pairs. I got one for Kirsten, one for Abigail, one for me. It's scissors. Do you see that little paw? I have used these. They don't cut great, but I don't really care because they're so cute. I'm telling you, it's the stupid things. The stupidest things thrill me to no end. And I got this bag. I mean, come on. Seriously. It zips. Adorable. I got that. I think that really is all that I've gotten. There's more on the way, but before I go, I wanted to, because I was whining about this pattern and being scared. Quite frankly, I was looking through my paper bag of patterns that usually when I get new stuff, I put it at the back so that I don't ignore things that I already have and wanted to start. I try to go in order. I've had this longer. Start it, work your way to those. You'll get them done. You'll get them all started anyway. I don't know about done, but when I was looking through at things, what's coming up, kind of just had a few minutes to kill, I guess. I don't know. I noticed I have more by this. Art Ventures. I have other landmarks by this same company. I have not looked to see if the floss list is ridiculous as this. But I was flipping out a little bit because there was Balger. I don't know if it's Balger or Balger. Balger threads listed. And I was like, I've never heard of that. I don't know what it is. And Shelly at It's Only Stitching, I told you she's the one who keeps me in line on cross stitch, sent me a picture. It's Kreinik. And so I shouldn't have any problem finding those. So I've calmed down a little bit about that. Because why not? Why not flip out? And like I said, now I've got two others. I feel like the thread list for these two is like comparable, which seems crazy. But anyway, so that one's not as much of a big deal anymore. Like it would matter because, again, years down the road, probably 2 years, even with a new start every week next year too, I'm past having enough for that. I was looking because I feel like there was something else I was going to tell y'all and it has left my mind. That's probably fine. I probably made everybody have a headache by now. It's a lot of tearing at one time. I get it. I guess that's all for now. I don't have plans per se. Don't forget, in my last video, I am doing the giveaway of this book. So if you are interested in winning this book, go to my last video and make a comment that has the word book in it. And I will draw on my next video. I said 4 weeks last time. This is 3. So I will still give everybody 1 more week. Hopefully I'll be back in 2, but we'll be dangerously close to the deadline by then. So we'll see. We might just be out of our minds. You never can tell. You never can tell. But at this point, we have a backup computer, so that'll work. I think that is everything. If not, I'll write it down and try to remember next time. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Thank you for your likes. Welcome new subscribers. Always welcome back those of you who come back and trudge through. Listen to me just rant and ramble. I appreciate it. I truly do. I think it's probably getting close to time for me to go make lunch. I think Dax's fast is, we've got to be at 24 hours now. And so I guess we'll see you the next time. Take care, y'all.